Hey guys, how are ya? How's everybody tonight?
I feel like absolute ass, but I'm here.
You are a champ. I know you're not feeling well, are you, Ginger dear?
Not at all. Haven't been for like the past 2 days, but made sure I was at least presentable for tonight, so.
And we thank you. Thank you very much for that. And how's Mr. G? How are you doing tonight?
I'm always happy to be here. So,
Okay.
whether I'm good or bad, it's fun to be here.
Well, anyway, I am the Cranky Canuck. This is, again, Late Night with Cranky and Friends. We're here to rock a little bit of a conversation, see how things go. Just turn the music down just a little bit, I think. And I am joined tonight by the sweetheart herself, Ginger Snaps, also known as Ginger Snaps on Twitter. And we've got Mr. G Eidolon, known as Mr. G_Eidolon on Twitter, or as we famously call him, much to his chagrin, the G-Spot. Or as he is going to soon become known, the dual MLG glass-wearing G-Spot.
If you can't beat him, join him.
I have a couple things I want to say before we get into our discussion areas tonight, and it has to do with chat. Now, I realize not everybody might be here yet, but you'll get the gist of it. I had a chance to go back through the chat logs for the last couple nights, and Bloodbook Kush, you're about to get timed out for the first time.
No, I already ban
Good.
him. He's an hour. He can chill for an hour.
I was disgusted.
Great opener for that. Actually.
Yes, that was perfect. Just perfect. And just to make this sure, let's put in this. I have decided that going forward, if you cannot treat the hosts of this show with respect, and that includes the ladies, you are going to get timed out. I will not tolerate it. We are human beings. We are having fun. We don't need you sitting in chat in your anonymous little world with your slimy little comments. And so you're more than willing to stay, enjoy the conversation, but remember one thing. We are human. We deserve respect, just as we try and give you respect. So pay attention to the rules. There is no coming back from them. If you get banned at some point, you're banned. You're done, because you've been told. Now that that is done, and I will probably mention it again around the 45-minute mark, just so that everybody knows the rules. I was going to talk a little bit about, I don't want to get this out of the way, because I was going to talk a little bit more about folk tales, because I managed to watch the devs streaming it today, and I'm still fucking amazed. But I'm going to hold off until tomorrow, because I actually have a chance to play the game now. So I'm going to have a bit more of a first-hand look at the game, and I'll be able to give a much better response. Easy on the kappas and the smiley faces there. Come on. God, I hope we don't have a daycare of our own. You think, why people can't just have a good time? I don't understand.
It's because it's the internet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's ass-kicking time.
Thank you, Super Spider. Let's see, what do we start off with? Oh, I know what I wanted to do. Yesterday I was talking about a new game, or that's going into development. It's called Strafe, and
oh yeah, it's ass-kicking time.
Thank you, Blood Kush. And now you know how to behave. Let's keep it that way. As I was saying yesterday, this is a game that harkens back to the early days of FPSs like Doom, Quake, games of the sort. Now they're looking for about $185,000 they're raising to try and fund the development. But when they talk to the developer, Tom Glunt and Stefan Rainey, they make up the team called Pixel Titans. And their philosophy is Strafe is not a community game. It's a balls to the walls, straight up action game. It is more Doom than Duke Nukem. He goes on to say he believes that there's, and this is where it gets interesting, and that's what I was going to talk about last night. He says, I believe there's a demand for low-res, high-impact shooting games like those that dominated PC games in the 1990s. We are seeing a generational shift of nostalgia, and I just got to turn this down just a little bit, I think. There we go. We are seeing a generational shift of nostalgia from the side-scrolling pixel art to primitive 3D. We aimed for that 20-year-old aesthetic value because I absolutely loved Quake and I loved Doom, and I wanted more of it. I have played them so much. How can I play these games without playing the same levels and becoming a speedrunner? This is a game a lot of people have wanted for a long time without even knowing it. Now you can see the images in the post. Now I'll throw the link into chat so people can take a look for themselves. There we go. What do you guys think? Is there really a need or a desire for this kind of HDing our past?
I like remakes. Anything of the sort that touches up on like the 90s nostalgia. Personally, I see nothing wrong with it. Like, that's something that I may actually end up looking into. The actual trailer for it was hysterical.
The trailer, like, if you go into that article, folks, there's a link to the trailer, I believe. Or they actually have the trailer there, and for their basically, I guess, their Kickstarter ad, and it is awesome. It is absolutely awesome, and apparently it was filmed in one afternoon in the dude's home. They basically took the living room and transformed it into what you see there, and it was all done basically off the cuff. Money wise, it was friends helping them out and everything like that. So, you know, I gotta admit, I kind of like it. I like the idea. It's like, personally, I really like beautiful graphics. That's my one weakness. The more beautiful the graphics, the more realistic the graphics, the more I like the game. Which is one reason why Folk Tales has me so interested. But, I have so many fond memories of Doom and Quake and that generation of games that this would almost be fun just to buy and play for the yucks.
I mean, I would agree. I think what people are missing is like kind of that LAN atmosphere as well, because like these types of games were great for LAN parties.
Yeah, they were.
Where you don't really have that anymore. But at the same time, you don't really have LAN parties. But is it because there's no games like this anymore, or is it because we have things like Steam and, you know, fast internet to be able to just play online with each other?
True story. Gentleman that introduced me to computers like 25 plus years ago. He also is the one that introduced me to Doom. And he had the most unique place of business because he lived out in the country. He had taken his barn and converted it into a whole set of offices and workspaces for his computer business. And at least once a month, we would get together at his place. He would set up the LAN. We'd all have our own little stations, and we would LAN party the weekend away in a barn. It was awesome. Beer was pretty damn good too. But yeah, it's that. I think that was probably one of the reasons why DreamHack was such a success and still is, because it's not so much a gaming event as it is a bunch of people getting together to have the biggest LAN party in the world. And that's what pulls people to it. So your point that part of this, our love for this type of thing is the whole LAN party thing. I wonder if that might, even though you can play these games online, it's not the same thing as having your friends sitting around connected to each other on a LAN playing a game.
Exactly. And I also think that it's one of the kind of nostalgia aspects where I'm curious to see how this works. I honestly don't know. I'm one of those people, like, I'm sitting here, I'm on the fence about it, because I don't know if people are going to get it. My thought process is they're going to hate it. Why? Because it's not Doom. It's not going to bring that, Doom back to them, or this Quake back to them like they, or they used to have it. Because you can't. You're going to look at the graphics, and it's going to look a little different. It's going to look a little weird, and I don't know. That's what I think it might happen. But at the same time, people might be really, truly missing it, and they're going to love this, and it's just going to blow people out of the water.
Take a look at the growing popularity of basically the indie games, which are based around very simple graphics. Like Don't Starve. Okay? Or Terraria, or Starbound, or Guacamole, whatever the hell that game was. Like, how whacked out can you get in graphics in Guacamole?
Yeah, but I would call those almost a different type of gamer. I mean, you have, or not necessarily a different type of gamer, but, well, yeah, I would say a different type of gamer, because you have people who really enjoy indie games, and, like, I enjoy some indie games, but, I also grew up with the whole Quakes and Dooms and stuff, and I remember those times. I remember going to LAN parties and having fun there. And the games themselves, like, show me an indie game that's really succeeded that was like Doom or Quake. I don't think I can even think of one. All the ones that are succeeding, all the ones that are good, that are indie games, are things like Banished, which is like a simulator, and Terraria, which is more of a Minecraft meets 2D adventure, and those types of things. So that's I see that's why those are working, but I can't think of an actual like FPS type thing like Doom or Quake working with any indie game.
Well, okay. At PAX South, Retro Blazer was shown off. Again, another retro type FPS with a lot of a pink color to it. I do not understand that. But again, to be fair, I'll throw these links into chat so you guys can kind of see what we're talking about here. Retro Blazer is a throwback to classic FPS games like Doom and Wolfenstein 3D with updated features and speed of gameplay. Graphically, the game looks and feels much like its inspirations. Enemies and pickups are sprites, but the environments are large, three-dimensional. Aesthetically, though, Retro Blazer looks similar to Mega Man with neon pinks and greens on pixelated textures. The characters are anthropomorphized creatures, which gives the title a distinctive look. So now we've got two games, one that's still looking to be funded, one that looks like it's going to launch, that are going down this retro FPS road. Now, Ginger, you're not an FPS person, are you? Or are you?
Yes and no. It depends on if it actually catches my interest. Something I never particularly got into hardcore, I guess I could say. I always had the issue with, like, say, Halo, anything like that. just any sort of console-based games where if I had to use a controller, my hands were normally too small for the controllers. And it was super awkward. So, but when it comes to like Doom and whatnot, I used to play the ever-living shit out of that when I was younger.
Oh, I did.
Even though even though I don't like scary games, Doom is probably the only exception, because going around a corner would probably make me, you know, pee myself now. I'm glad with the fact that they're coming out with more of these, but dear God, the market's going to get flooded.
That's another thing I'm thinking is it's going to get flooded, but these are the first 2 games that are actually coming out that are these types of games. So that's why I'm really curious to see how it plays out and if it succeeds or not.
If either of these do well, then the market is just going to get flooded with cheap knockoffs that are just going to be flying around the corner.
Or will we see the possibility of, for example, id Software, I don't really exist anymore, turning around and saying, okay, if this is what you guys want, let's bring Doom back. But with not modern graphics, the same bit better graphic styles, you know, more along the lines of Quake, but with a more modern engine behind it, a more modern mechanics behind it, but still that same generational look to it. Is that something that we could see possibly happening if this idea takes off? Because you got to admit, Doom was one of the most popular games of a lot of generations.
I don't think so. Especially because, you know, if they don't make it exactly like it was, there's going to be a riot. People are not going to want to see that. You know, if you come out with Doom, you're coming out with Doom. You're not coming out with Doom updated with an engine, and people are going to be like, well, no, this is not like it used to be. So I don't really see it working that way. I honestly don't see this type of FPS succeeding. That's my personal opinion. I really don't see it succeeding. I'm curious to see if it does, and if it does, that's fantastic. But I really feel that the generation of people who play FPS games don't want the retro style look of FPS. They want the buildings exploding and the tanks and the, you know, Call of Duty crap that there is and that kind of stuff. So we'll wait and see, but I don't know. I'm not very positive about this whole retro FPS.
Thank you,
It's ass kicking time.
both Dark Water and I missed the one prior to that. I'm sorry about that. I don't know. I've been thinking about it, you know, most of the day between these two things, and I almost can see them being successful. I'm not sure about this pink pile of shit, but you know, but then pink's not my favorite color. You know, regardless if you want my hair to look that way, Ginger.
It's gonna happen, dude.
Oh, it will. He doesn't know yet.
How about we do just like a little pink strip, like just right on the side?
Yeah, but do you think it'll
Sound
mix?
cranky?
Do you think it mix? Well, I tell you what. What about down the side here? Or does
I'll
that?
do it.
Yeah, you'll do it. You'll do it.
Uh-huh.
Or maybe take where it's gray and make it pink.
Whatever tickles your pickle, dude. I can make it happen.
I caught this one just before showtime. Now, I don't think there's a geek worth their salt that doesn't like the Mythbusters. Am I pretty correct in that assumption?
Love Mythbusters.
It's
Now-
probably one of the best shows out there. Even though I don't actually watch a lot of it, I'm not gonna lie. I almost never watch it, but I find it fascinating.
Now, how about you combine Mythbusters and Doom? Because apparently, the next episode of Mythbusters is going to be let me just get this right. They are going to be using specifically Doom 3 BFG Edition as a template to test some myths about the game. Like, is it possible for someone to lug around a half-dozen guns, grenades, a chainsaw, and a bunch of health packs while also fending off demons from hell?
Beautiful.
That's going to be probably an episode that I will totally watch.
I would...
If you're a gamer, everybody's going to be watching that.
That is such an awesome idea that they're doing this, and I can almost imagine that as far as downloads are concerned, this will probably rank as one of the biggest Mythbuster episodes ever. Because the idea that they are actually... I read this and I'm going, I have to watch this. I have to watch this to see just how they are going to pull this off. I thought it was just... Now, for the people in chat, the Doom episode of Mythbusters airs this Saturday, June 31st at 9 p.m. ET on Discovery. So, what do you mean nobody watches Mythbusters? It's one of the most... anyway. Yeah, so I think that was going to be a lot of fun to watch. It really is. I don't know about you, but that's definitely going on my list of must watch. Go ahead.
Speaking of those games, though, I think Bacon actually has a really good question there. If you could pick any game from your past to be remastered, which one would it be?
You know what I would really, really like to see, and it didn't get the same amount of press or popularity that Doom did, even though id Software did it, and that was Hexen.
That's an interesting choice.
I think Hexen was enough of a shift off of the Doom plot line of aliens and so forth. This was more... I don't know, I really, really liked Hexen. There was another one too. It was a, I think it was Shadow Warrior. You were a ninja, but I can't remember Shadow Warrior was the actual name of it. But I have fond memories of playing that one as well. Now you guys are younger. Is there a game of your past that you would like to see them remaster and re-release?
Star Fox 64 in HD.
100% yes. Yes, 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 yes.
Hands
Ginger
down.
for president. Ginger for president.
Heretic. That's it, Jamie. That's it. Heretic, not Hexen. Heretic. Yes. Sorry, I got my games mixed up. Star Fox 64 HD. What? Okay. That was a console game?
Yep.
Okay.
On the
For the Nintendo 64.
Yeah, the N64.
Yeah, see, I had never have, probably never will be a console player. So, those titles fly by me. So, tell me about Star Fox. What was so good about it?
Everything.
Yeah, it
God,
was... Oh, man.
The dialogue, the gameplay, the background story, everything, and getting to Andros the wrong way and realizing that you completely butchered everything and you didn't kill him and you have to go back and find the right way to do everything. Beautiful. Loved it. And the mini heart attacks whenever you go up against Star Wolf and all of his little crazy buddies. Glorious. Love Star Fox 64.
I don't know about emulators.
G's face is just absolutely priceless right now.
Why's
No,
that?
I'm remembering all of my Star Fox moments, like just the playing. I mean, I didn't even play the story a lot. I just went into the battleground where you can like put a bunch of like, you know, fighters and a boss, and you just go around killing people. And just, it was that game where it was, I think, one of the first true kind of starship fighting games. And like Ginger said, the characters were hilarious. The credits were fantastic. Like, I don't know if just everything about it. Everything was great about it. That was like the first game I actually watched everything, the credits to the end and stuff. Even though they were just basic. I don't know. I really liked it.
Now, okay, here's when it comes to console ports are a big thing. I don't know if even if it's programmatically feasible, but would you play a PC version of that game if they came out with it? Or is it because it was a console and it was part of your youth, and those are why the memories are so good?
See, I think that's kind of the question that I have about these retro games. Like, I don't even know how to answer that question myself. I would love to see it remastered, but then would I really like it if it was remastered? I don't know. I can't answer that, because it may be because I was such a young kid and I just loved that game and it was one of the first games that I would play. I don't know.
Okay, how important are graphics? Given the fact that we've got games like Don't Starve, we've got Terraria, we've got Skyrim or whatever the hell it's called, and we've got Landmark, and we've got all these other really high quality or low quality graphics. Like, how important are the graphics of the game to you actually enjoying playing it? Because, like, to me, part of my problem with Don't Starve is I don't like the graphics. They're good.
I hate them.
They're okay, but gee, admittedly, they're well done. They are well done. They are well.
Just like Tim Burton movies. Tim Burton movies are very well done, from what I hear. I despise Tim Burton movies. I despise them. I don't like them at all. I wish they would all just burn. And that's how I feel about them, because I can't stand the art style. I can't stand just the eccentric, acting and motions and stuff. Same kind of reason with Don't Starve. I don't like the art style. I don't want to play it.
And I'm the exact opposite of G. I love Tim Burton movies. I love the art style. I had never played a survival game before, but I picked up Don't Starve because I liked the graphics, and I ended up loving it.
Okay, Ray's made he made a good point. He says, I actually don't like super high realism graphics. I prefer games that actually look like games. Now, I know there's a 30-second delay here, Rar. Where would Borderlands fall in that for you? See, I kind of agree with them. But again, I think it depends on the game you're playing. Right? Like I said, I'm starting to really follow this folk lores game, right? And the graphics in it are absolutely mind-blowing. But on the other hand, you've got, see, Rar loves Borderlands, but why, Rar? Let us know. Like, tell us why what it is about Borderlands that you like. But for me, the graphics in Borderlands are awesome, and they aren't anywhere near real. So
you could also look at it as World of Warcraft graphics versus any of the Final Fantasy. I don't even know which one is the most current one right now. I've lost track of how many numbers they're into. That or Guild Wars 2 graphics. So you have World of Warcraft versus Guild Wars 2 graphics. World of Warcraft is obviously a lot more cartoony, even though they did a mostly all of the races remake. redoing all the graphics for them, but it's still 10 times more cartoony than what you'll find in Guild Wars 2. I play both of them. I like both of the styles. I think that World of Warcraft style works for them. Guild Wars 2 works for them. Not everybody's gonna like graphics that are too, I don't know, specific to a certain area. So, like G said, he doesn't like Tim Burton. It's pretty obvious he's not gonna like the graphic style of Don't Starve because that caters towards the Tim Burton aspect.
Exactly. And
it's all personal preference.
Well, it's okay. Like in chat, Rar says the Borderland graphics are a great mix, whereas PVT Mowers said that he didn't like the the Borderlands is still a bit cartoony. But I think that's one of the redeeming features of Borderlands. Is it's slightly, because they did bring in or popularize a different style of character graphics and landscape graphics. It was more not quite as much cell shading, but there was still that touch to it. And I think that is what really helped set that Borderlands, when it first launched, apart from the other games. And that's something that they've kept with as they've moved forward, which we're going to get to in a minute because it's a disaster as far as I'm concerned. The other question I have, go ahead.
Something that Drop said, Minecraft, all it is just blocks and big pixels. Minecraft has a huge following.
Yep.
I don't like Minecraft graphics.
I can't stand it. Can't stand it.
I don't. But I do know that there are mods out there to make Minecraft look beautiful. Would I potentially, play Minecraft if I could use mods, shaders, whatnot, to make it look gorgeous? I probably would. But then you're talking to me and I just said that I like Don't Starve. It's super cartoony, but I don't like Minecraft.
Yeah, but
all it is just personal preference.
I don't call the Don't Starve graphics cartoony. They're very unique graphics, and I like the art. I like the artist style that they've gotten in them. I just don't. I don't like them in a game. I just don't like them.
And real quick, also to jump on what Ginger was saying earlier, but I personally don't like the WoW graphics whatsoever. I do like the Guild Wars graphics. When it comes to both games, which game do I enjoy more? Guild Wars. They're almost very similar in types of gameplay and how you play them. But one of the main reasons I don't like WoW is because of the graphics, and that's something that I noticed that a lot of people are not like me. They typically like the game, whether it's good or bad graphics. Minecraft, I hate it. Never liked Minecraft. I'm probably going to get shot down the street by saying that, but I played it because my friends had it, never cared for it, and I couldn't stand it because the graphics were bad. Skyrim is one of my favorite games because I modded the hell out of it, and it was still a fantastic looking game when I got it, and even though the story is, I would say, mediocre, I still consider that one of my favorite games because the graphics was just so real. Same thing with GTA.
Okay, there's two questions up here, basically for me, or one's for me and one's, I think, for all of us. Cody Jarrow asked, well, Cranky, what do you like then? Do you care about the graphics, or do you just want to play a game that's fun? How about both? Is that such a hard thing to have? I don't fault a game if their intent is to have cartoony graphics. That's what they want. So I think you can have both. It depends on the game. Now, Bacon Always Wins asks, what is your thoughts on the Telltale games? And I imagine he's referring to The Walking Dead and what's the other one? There's also the Game of Thrones one they're working on. There was another one that they did and they're basically serialized episodic games done in a very comic book style. I like the premise. I like the idea. The idea that you can buy episodes as you progress through, I think, is a clever marketing way to make your money. I think Telltale Games has a rather unique business model. I think they create a good range of games. I don't play them. I did try playing the one. I can't even remember the name it was, because it was one of my more favorite comic books too. I can't remember what it was. Fable, I think. Was it Fable? Anyway, so there you go, Bacon. That's my response. Do either you two know of Telltale Games or their games, and what do you think?
I've actually watched a couple of the episodes, I guess is what you want to call it, for the game playthrough for The Walking Dead. I personally enjoyed them. Gave me a little mini heart attack because I have a love-hate relationship with zombies, because obviously I don't like scary things, but at the same time I'm a gamer, so I get immersed into it quite often with games and movies and whatnot. I think they did a really good job with it, honestly. They captured the comic feel, and they did it well, and they executed it well.
G?
I've never been necessarily a fan of those games, but more because I just never really looked into them, and I never really liked the episode style. I understand it's a great marketing kind of tactic for them. I just never really was interested in that kind of game or that type of gameplay. But I've heard phenomenal things, and I don't fault them for that, and I haven't even really looked at them, honestly.
Okay, well, Bacon, you got your answer there, my man. I hope that that took care of that. While we're on the subject of Borderlands, who was it last night? Someone mentioned last night that there was an announcement that came out of PAX about the next release of the Borderlands series. Well,
that was me.
Yeah.
The CEO, I believe, or the president, or both. Whatever.
Well, okay. The stories I found today is what we are actually getting is a DLC for the pre-sequel.
Aren't you excited, Cranky?
I'm fucking thrilled. Can you tell?
Look at how excited he is. He's just fucking radiating.
I'm falling down orgasmically excited. Not. But there's two parts apparently, I guess, to this DLC. One is that they're introducing a new character, Lady Hammerlock. Now, anybody has played Borderlands know who Sir Hammerlock is. He was the integral part of Borderlands 2. This apparently is his sister. Her progression apparently will branch into Huntress, Cold Money, and contractual aristocratus, whatever, skill trees. The Huntress focuses on sniping, offering a skill that dishes out critical hit bonuses for each consecutive shot on target. Cold Money is all about ice damage, as made evident by one of the abilities implemented cryo damage with any equipped weapon. Anybody excited?
I've never played Borderlands, so I'm just gonna let you two go ahead and discuss this one.
G?
It depends on how well they do with the DLC. I mean, it can be a fantastic DLC, and I know a few people who...
So we've got a DLC for what should have been a DLC.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you can kind of say the same thing with the whole Sims thing. It kind of goes both ways. I personally don't know if you can say that the prequel can be a DLC.
It should have been a DLC, for fuck's sakes. It was... like, give me a break.
I don't know. Maybe they shouldn't have sold it for what they sold it for, that price, but I don't think you could really call that a DLC, because you had your first one and then your second one. You can't really make a DLC for the second one that's the prequel. It just... I don't know, it just doesn't work. Now, depending on how much they sell it for and how much content you have in it, I think it could do very well, and I know a lot of people who are kind of just fanatic about Borderlands series as a whole. So for them, it'd probably be great. For just the average person, I don't see many people getting it. I don't see many people getting DLC much at all, for the most part.
Okay, the second part of this DLC apparently is going to take you into Claptrap's head. Gearbox revealed that the new DLC will take players into the mind of the series' iconic Claptrap. Reportedly, not much more was shared about the specifics of the DLC, but more news came in the form of the new playable character, blah, 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 blah. We've already... oh, she can also create man-slaves on the battlefield. Now there's feminism
That's
for you. I don't... I love Borderlands. I've played 1 and 2. I absolutely refuse to waste money on the prequel.
Oh yeah, it's ass kicking time.
Thank you, Trizzle. Now, if they came out with a real Borderlands 3, I'd be there. But this phony prequel bullshit, I'm sorry, was nothing more than a money grab. It should have been like a $19.95 or $29.95 DLC for Borderlands 2. Simply put.
But it's the prequel.
I don't give a flying fuck. It still made no sense.
I'm just making you get cranky.
Yeah. Like, obviously cows go boom. He likes the idea of crawling into Claptrap's head. I'm not so sure I like that idea, because that little fucker is crazy. Well, yeah, okay, we won't talk about my mental sanity either.
Wait, you have sanity?
Don't tell anybody. It's a secret. Shush. Another... Because we've been sort of going around all this remastering stuff. Another big... well, after... We won't take too long on this one, but... anybody who has played the old game will remember Homeworld and Homeworld 2. They were classics of their genre. And the developer, publisher behind it basically was going out of business. And Gearbox bought up the IP and the new project that they were working on, along with all the old content. They have now, they announced at PAX, the Homeworld Remastered Collection, which is a renovated version of the first 2 core entries in the Spacefaring Strategy series. And it will launch on Steam February 25th with a price tag of $34.99. Now, people are going, well, like, that's a hell of a lot of money for, a remastered game. What you're also getting with that is you're getting the 2 original games. So you're actually getting 4 games for $34.95. And if anybody is I don't know if Larry's still in chat. Larry's my best friend who loves the spacefaring strategy type games. He's a 4X master. So he'll probably remember Homeworld. It was an awesome game. It was, like I said, it was a classic of its time. And the idea, I was kind of worried when Gearbox bought it, especially after Duke Nukem. That fucking disaster that should have never been seen the light of day. And still sitting in my Steam library collecting dust. So I was a little worried when I heard they bought up Homeworld. But Randy Pritchard, I believe it's Randy Pritchard, he came out and he says, "Look, we love this game. This game is part of our, part of gaming heritage. This will stay the way it should be. All we are going to do is make it more beautiful." And apparently they have. People who have seen it on this demoed, they were running the new and the old side by side, and the differences were magnificent. Still the same game, but just with better graphics. They brought it forward to a more modern engine as well. Now they are working on a Homeworld 3, which I'm kind of excited about. Do you, G or Jim, do you remember the game at all, or do you remember hearing about the game, or does spacefaring games sort of make you want to go yawn and go to sleep?
Yawn and go to sleep, except for Star Fox.
G?
I've always been a 4X type game person. I cannot wait to get Galactic Civilization 3. It's just in beta right now, so I kind of want to wait a little bit longer. I heard about them. I never actually played them. I would most likely get this. It definitely seems interesting to me, and I just love those types of games. So,
well, I'll tell you what. You have my personal word that I think that you will absolutely love these games. You will lose hours in these games. But I have another one for you. And I was actually introduced to it by my friend Larry. And it is Distant Worlds. He also introduced True Pimpin' into the game, and you know how True Pimpin' fell in love with Distant Worlds. He still plays it like crazy. But I think if you like 4X space games, you got to get Distant Worlds.
I heard that game. That's on my wish list. It's going to be in my account very soon. I mean, True and I have very similar tastes when it comes to those types of games. So whenever he tells me that he's getting a game, I most likely will get it. Just because, yeah.
Larry, you're still in channel. Larry's, like I said, he's a good friend of mine. I've known Larry for, 15, 20 years now. He is a past master at Distant Worlds. He's been with them since the beta. He also has an extensive YouTube library of tutorials and gameplay to do with Distant Worlds. Throw your YouTube link in chat, Larry, please. And if you are 4X space exploration people, check out Larry's YouTube channel. He's got some great games in there. He was also a big fan of Free Civ. You remember Free Civ? You never heard of Free Civ?
No.
Okay.
Oh, actually, vaguely, I do remember something about Free Civ.
Free Civ is basically based on, I think it was Civ 1 or Civ 2. Larry will probably correct me on this. And it was an open source labor of love for civilization. And they couldn't obviously call it Civ, Civ anything, so they called it Free Civ. But yeah, it's he has quite a few of those in there. Come on, Larry, don't be shy. There we go. Okay. Bacon always wins comes up with another good question. What do you think of FLT?
I love FLT.
So,
I've seen other people play it. I've personally not played it.
KG, what the fuck is FLT? I'm no like
FLT, wow. Sorry, I was trying to ban someone.
Yeah.
While, FTL, Faster Than Light. It's a fantastic game that's semi roguelike, I guess. And it's a turn-based game, kinda. Not really turn-based. It's, oh man, it's hard to explain. it's a space type game where you travel from one kind of star to another, which is kind of like the turn-based aspect of it, and then it brings you into like a what do you call it? Kind of like a scenario or like a situation, and the situation could be like something where you're running away from the almost like Star Wars. You're running away from like the Imperial people, and you're trying to get to your base so you can fight off the big master person at the end. So to keep it simple, every time you land on a star, something happens. Either it could be nothing, it says, oh, well, nothing, nobody's around. Or something happens in terms of, it could be an enemy, it could be a friend, it could be a ship that is on fire, and you can choose to go and try to, you know, save the people that are on board, or just blow it up and take the scrap for material, or just leave it alone. You know, you have all those options. And then the gameplay itself is all about how it goes into another screen, and you have, you know, 2 different ships typically, and you have little crew members that you can put in different rooms. And for instance, if you have certain guns on your ship, if you put a crew member in your weapons room, your cooldowns are going to go a lot faster, so you're able to shoot again. So I don't know, it's a hard game to really explain. It's a great game though if you like those types of games.
Okay, well, I told Blazing that we would talk. You know, we put this on our list, but I see Ginger. You said that you're kind of looking forward to No Man's Sky, so you do know of the game.
I know of it just because he mentioned it, and I went and looked it up. The graphics look amazing, and I like the concept that it has so many different things that you can actually do in it.
It's, if I understand it correctly, and I'm actually, what I've read of it so far, I'm very excited about it. It's basically, I think, an open universe sandbox type game that is totally freeform. Literally everything is freeform in it. So yeah, I'm actually going to look into it some more. Maybe, you know, my co-host as well, so we can actually have an intelligent conversation about it instead of just, you know, mouthing the words. I think what we're going to do here, folks, is we're going to take a 5-minute break, and we're going to play you a little bit of music. We're going to take a break so we can get some water and drinks and do our bathroom shit, because sitting here for 90 minutes, 2 hours straight can be a little hard on the body. I do know, G, you have to go.
I do.
And both the other co-hosts tonight are, I know Karida's sick, and has work at 8 o'clock in the morning, so it'll just be myself and Ginger when we come back from our bit of a break. Like I said, it'll only be 5 minutes, so don't freak out, everybody. We're still here. Still. And G, will you take care, get your rest, and we'll talk to you later. All right, everybody. Where's there we go. We'll slide this back to pre-roll, and we'll see you in about 5 minutes, everybody. Hey guys, let me just readjust our screens a little bit here. Because what happens when one leaves the call, it kind of messes up the layout. So I got to try and fix it real quick. Just give me a second. There we go. I'll take care of Ginger so she doesn't look so out of proportion. Actually, I think you're pretty good, Ginger.
Works for me.
Okay, all right, we're good. We're good. And I got a little graphic to do with the story to cover up where G was, just so you're not looking at a blank spot. God, I hate Skype and that stupid mute button. Get the hell out of there. I could really shoot it. I really could. Well, you're gonna have to put up with a mute button there, folks, for right now until Skype decides to piss off. There's an interesting article I came across, and there's a video to go with it, but I'll throw the link in chat. And I'm going up and down, up and down. God damn Skype, pain in the ass. See if I can skirt around there. No, that didn't work either. Videos when games humiliate us with pity. Apparently, Hideo could forget the. I'm not even going to try pronouncing his name. Recently presented a new addition to the Big Boss arsenal for Metal Gear Solid 5, a chicken hat. The hat makes, if you put this hat on, it makes the guards ignore you, which makes the game easier, but you will look ridiculous, and Kojima is literally calling you a chicken. As the video that is in the article shows, this is only the latest in a long and embarrassing history of games taking pity on us for being rubbish at them. Tell me you're not okay with this, Ginger.
I'd totally run around with the chicken hat. Matter of fact, I would be immune to guards seeing me just so I could wear the damn chicken hat. Because I'm a troll like that.
You would. You'd wear the hat.
Even if I could get around the guards without them seeing me, I'd still want the damn chicken hat.
Okay, like here's. Is it a. Look, not everybody is great at the games they play. We're all different, varying degrees of good or bad or mediocre, and then there's me, which generally sucks at most of them. Is it right for a game to make fun of you because you're not good at playing it?
I guess when you put it like that, I mean, but I can see the comedy effect in it. Like,
yeah, but I can also see the embarrassment factor in it too. And to me that, yeah, okay, I get the comedy, I get the humor. You know, it's fine. Okay, you're wearing a chicken hat, you're looking like an idiot, blah 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 blah, or is it cluck 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 cluck? But if I'm playing a game and I'm trying hard and I'm enjoying myself, but I'm still trying hard and I'm dying or I'm failing, to suddenly have the game come along and say, "You're a fucking idiot. Why are you even playing this? Here's a hat to make you even look stupider." I didn't pay $60 to be made a fool of. I do that well enough on my own.
there are certain people that would take that as an offensive thing to the point where they're like, hey, I paid money to play this.
Yeah.
Obviously I suck, you don't have to rub it in. I can completely understand your point. Me, personally, I would never take offense to it, but there are people out there that would take offense to it.
I was just seeing if there was another example, but there isn't. It's basically in that video, which we don't have. I just look. I get why you would find it funny. That's your personality. You know, you don't really give a fuck about what anybody thinks. So, you know, if you're running around with a chicken hat on and it makes you laugh, it makes you feel good, then wonderful. But look, we play online games a lot, and it's bad enough that when we fail, we have our own circle of people that make fun of us. But it's also common that you get just ridiculed online when if you fail in a game.
Well, I'm probably going to butcher this. Oronia just said that it pushes you to be a better man. Now,
Bull fucking shit!
No, wait. Maybe he was trolling with it, because if you think about it, if you have to take that chicken hat, are you going to cry in a corner because you got the chicken hat? Or are you going to make yourself better to where you don't need the chicken hat anymore?
I'm sorry. No. That argument's bullshit. I'm sorry. I don't agree with that argument. I really don't.
I can see it that way, but that's just me. But again, at the same time, you're looking at me. I was disappointed with the Guild Wars 2 thing where they didn't introduce Tengu as a new playable race. And I had the name set aside as a crispy 5-piece so I could walk around as a giant fucking chicken. But that's just me.
Yeah, but see, okay, in that case, you go into the game knowing that that's there. Okay, like if you're going to be a chicken fried drumstick playing a game, that's cool. You've paid your money to do that. But if I'm going to pay $60 for Metal Gear Solid 5, and I end up sucking at it, and I want to try a little easier mode, and they give me a chicken hat, I'm going to be fucking pissed. Okay? To me, that is basically saying, you're fucking useless, you shouldn't be playing our game, but thank you very much for the money. See ya.
And that's why you're cranky, and that's why I just don't give a flying fuck about anything.
Yeah, okay. Alright. While we're on the subject of trolls, which we're dealing with on our own here, there's a Swedish reality TV show. It's called Troll Hunter, because I'm not even going to try and pronounce the Swedish name for it. And what they do is they hunt down and confront online harassers in real life. It's hosted by investigative journalist Robert Ashberg, who actively confronts online abusers as they leave work or find them outside their homes. There was an interview done by CBC Radio Q with Ashberg discussing the show, and he was asked, how extreme does the hatred have to get? And Ashberg replied, we don't go after people who just joke with the other guys. We're talking real hate here. People who keep on harassing other people, or people who threaten other people. They go on to discuss the political and racial nature of blah blah blah. It's actually a really interesting article, and what I'll do is I'll throw this one. I'll throw the link in this one as well. Because I'm just that kind of a nice guy who does that sort of thing. What do you think of that idea?
I think that the name Troll Hunter, there is a difference between trolling somebody and straight up harassment.
Okay, yeah.
I troll people. I will troll people night and day. Is it ever harassment? Sometimes it may borderline be harassment, but I never try and step over that line. It's going to give a bad name to the trolls that never do anything above and beyond what they're going after people.
Okay, whoa. What is a troll to you? What's your definition of a troll? And let's keep this in the gaming perspective, or in our perspective here. What is a troll?
A troll? I guess the better thing to ask is, when does crossing the line from trolling hit harassment? Because anything that isn't harassment, I consider trolling. Like, if somebody were to come into your chat right now and start spamming assy or the assy signs and kappas all over the place, somebody's trolling you. Or if somebody's asking retarded questions, somebody's trolling you. If somebody were to come in here and start saying that, I hope you die of testicular cancer, or something like that, that's going a bit above and beyond what I would consider, you know, healthy, just normal gamer banter at that point. You know, when you cross the line and you start attacking somebody instead of just shooting the shit, you know, trying to get a laugh, when you cross over that line, it's just straight up harassment. And you have people on the internet that have gotten trolled, or not trolled, harassed so hard by people saying, you're fat, you're ugly, kill yourself, die. That's probably what this troll hunter is going after, in a sense of the term. Or if you have somebody posting your personal information out on the internet saying falsified information about that person. Now, that's just fucked up.
Do you think that, okay, and because I have a bit of a problem with this kind of TV show, and it goes back to another show which I'll mention in a minute, but do you think that there's a value in this type of investigative reporting and tracking down and confronting these people who are this cruel?
I think people that are this cruel need to be put out in the public eye. You know, these are people that have harassed friends of your friends, to the point where they tried to off themselves. Or this person can no longer get a job anymore because this person decided to take the nude photos, be the male nudes or female nudes, and post them all over a website and completely slander their name. That's not trolling, that's just fucking harassment.
Okay. Do you remember a show that was on, I think it was ABC, called To Catch a Predator?
Yep.
Okay. The basic premise of that show was they entrapped people into situations where they were then confronted for being a pedophile. And they were then subsequently arrested and went to court. Now, on the surface, that sounds like it's NBC. Thank you, Blazing Ganji. On the surface, that sounds okay. That, you know, they're performing kind of a public service. Where I had a problem, and I said it would happen, was that there was one case specifically where a man was entrapped this way. He was publicly humiliated. He was arrested. He never made it to court because he killed himself. Now, the fear I have is that and this is more of a, and I'm sorry to say this, but this is more and more of an Americanization problem. That if because they ask in this story if if this type of show came to America, whether it would be a good idea. And my fear is we would just have a variation of the Catch a Predator, in which case somebody's going to end up dead.
And then I can understand that. But in the case with the Catch a Predator guy, was the guy actually guilty of being a pedophile?
He never went to court. See, if I understand American justice properly, you can be arrested, you can be charged, but until you're found guilty in court, you are presumed innocent.
Some people would argue that you're guilty until proven innocent.
I understand that. But I'm going by what your founding fathers have basically stated. Okay? And this man was not... He could very well have been guilty. And he could have very well deserved court, jail time. He could have very well deserved the public humiliation he got. But the fact was, this was such a disastrous event to him that he killed himself. And that's just one case. I do believe there was at least 2 others until he finally canceled the show. Don't get me wrong. I think pedophile, if someone touched one of my kids, they probably wouldn't even make it to a jail cell if I caught him. Okay? In this case, they had the benefit of the doubt. With me, they wouldn't have. My worry with Troll Hunter, especially when it comes to gaming, because we know that gaming trolls can be some really fucking fucked up shit, vicious people.
Yep.
Okay? And to be honest, one of the reasons why I've instituted the rules I have for chat here is because of some of that very behavior. And I won't tolerate it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've been the target of a couple of very nasty and profane things, but that's, and it's sad because as a female gamer, I'm used to that shit.
But you shouldn't have to be. No, you shouldn't. And, okay, here's a question for you, Ginger. When did you cross that line from being, like, you've always been, I'm just saying, you've always been a gamer, you've always been a lady, girl gamer, woman gamer, whatever you want to call it. At what point did you go from anger to just saying, fuck it?
It was probably... I had to be in my early 20s. Somebody went after me for being a female and talking over vent, and they told me to die of cervical cancer. I was so shocked that I just started laughing, and then from then on out, I just didn't give a shit, because why do I care what this random fuck on the internet is saying about me? But not everybody has a skin as tough as what I've built up being a female in the gaming community.
See, the fact that you had to go through that whole process is wrong. And it speaks to a very bad part of who we are, I think. And that saddens me to a certain degree. Do you think we'll ever get past it? Or do you think this is just something that's always going to be a part of the gaming culture? Regardless of whatever, fancy movement comes along to change it, or, we invest millions upon millions of dollars in diversity. Is this something that we are stuck with? Is this something that basically I'm going to have to say every day in chat that either you be nice to our lady co-host or you're going to get banned? Like, why should I have to do that?
You're probably never going to see a point where you're not going to have to do that. At least from what I've seen, because I haven't seen any vast improvement. And I mean, I'm 27. You know, I've been playing since the first Game Boy was out, since, you know, Sega, Super Nintendo. It's I got teased in school for playing console games from the boys. Girls don't do that. You have to be a lesbian. What the fuck? Dude, I'm in like 2nd grade. And you're hating on me for liking video games because I'm a female and I'm supposed to be playing with Barbies. Like, I don't get it. Since then until now, I have not seen any improvement. And it's been getting worse. Especially since you have female gamers streaming on Twitch. The bullshit that you see in their channel, and that's why I set up the rules on my channel. I don't give a flying fuck what you say about me, and I'm just going to take the harassment. I don't care.
Okay, but here's the thing. Now,
females that don't.
Now here's the thing. Okay, on Twitch, up until recently, it's sort of been kind of a wild west, especially when it comes to the female streamers. Have they not in some way encouraged this kind of attitude because it brings in the viewers? Are they not partly to blame for the situation that exists right now on Twitch as far as the toxicity in gaming chat or you know in the chats of different streams? Because the way you're describing it, it sounds like they have to accept part of the responsibility instead of whining and crying about it.
They had to conform to be able to fit in. And if taking the harassment means that they can fit in with the gamers and keep their shows going, that's what they're gonna do. Sex sells. Tits sell on Twitch.
But listen, I worked in bars for many, many years. Okay? Female bartenders always made more money in tips and always had the better shifts than the men. Simple fact of economics. This isn't just, you know, one industry. But we live in a gaming world where we are now. You know, this is something that like you have decided on, I've decided on, and a lot of people here in chat and the other co-hosts have decided. We are part of the gaming culture and we like being here. Can these women that are getting this ridiculous toxicity, this harassment in their chats, can they not change it? Can they not try and shift the attitudes like we're trying here? Like, we've made the rules really simple. You be respectful. You do not rude. You are not rude. You're not sexually, verbally, assaulting my female co-hosts. Can these women not have the same respect for themselves now in their chat and try and enforce some change?
Not if they want to keep streaming and actually making money on it.
Well, I gotta admit, I have noticed my views go down tonight because of what I've done.
I mean, if you look at a couple of the big name streamers, and I'm talking to people that have 15,000 viewers when they log on for 45 minutes. If that person gets into a Skype call, TeamSpeak, what have you, with a female, or they have the female on like a cam or something like that, you're gonna see the chat flooded with, "She wants the D. Give her the D." They don't know anything about this chick. Wow, such a slut.
Thank you, Striker.
What she looks like.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Like, it's if any of these bigger name female streamers were to change their business model up, because that's what it's turned into, is a business. Getting yourself slandered as a chick gamer, tits out, what have you, has made them a shit ton of money. If they were to go back on that all of a sudden and say, I don't like the way that you guys say this, they're going to lose a massive portion of their viewer count. Maybe they'll gain a couple more back,
It's ass-kicking time.
but the majority of the time, because of the way that Twitch is now, the sex sells attitude is what works for female gamers. Taking the harassment is what works for female gamers, and it's going to stay that way as far as I can tell.
I just, you know, like I guess in some way I think also, like you and I, we get spoiled because of Dizzy's chat is such a good community to hang out in. And I've hung out in some other ones, but I've also gone into ones where the moment I see the chat heading down that road, I become so fucking uncomfortable that I leave. Because, look, I know that a large percentage of the women on Twitch will use their attributes, sometimes not properly, you know, or with the right, you know, sense of decorum, but they will use their female gender to their benefit. And I guess in some ways I can't blame them. But can you not do that but have a respectful chat? Can people still not be respectful of that person?
Ask the male community. Ask other female gamers. They would probably look at me talking about them as a negative factor right now. But me, I'm just stating my opinion. Like, if and when I do start streaming, I already put my factors up there saying that I don't care what you say about me, but you're never gonna see me with my, you know, low-cut tops, little outfits and stuff. I'm not gonna have an Amazon wish list posted up there because lonely guys hiding behind their computer monitors is gonna buy me shit. I have my husband for that.
Yeah. Staying with Twitch, and this is something I was thinking about earlier as I was watching the Folklore stream where they were showing off the new game in development. And do you think that there is a difference in the way that AAA, because we're seeing a great influx of developers and publishers showing up on Twitch, from, you know, like AAA right on down to the indiest of indies.
Oh yeah, it's ass kicking time.
Thank you, old man. Join the club, bud. Do you think that there is a difference in the way that the big publishers, the AAA publishers, are using Twitch in contrast to the way the indie developers and the, you know, currently in development developers are using Twitch?
I look at it as, with the big AAAs, they're doing it more as a marketing-only ploy. With the smaller indie developers, they're looking at it as a way to, yes, advertise, but also the more big streamers you have that are trying out this game, it's like a completely different tester market.
Yeah.
Holy shit, streamer found this bug, we need to fix it.
Well, I know, like I said, today I was watching the Folklore, and Raw D123, who streams this game and loves it, and turned me on to it. He was like, because in that chat was the lead developer, one of the lead artists, and the amount of conversation around possible bugs or things, you know, ideas for the game, it was just almost non-stop. Whereas if you, like when I went in to watch, when Wolfenstein, when they were doing the streams for Wolfenstein, it was gameplay, and they were explaining the gameplay, but there was no real, you didn't have a feeling that they were really pulling in a community around the game. Whereas the indie developers seem to be wanting to build a community around the game.
The indie developers, they want to build that community. They want suggestions on how they can improve gameplay. They want to find out who can find what bugs so they can fix them. They're going to listen to this streamer that had an amazing idea that they could implement and find a way to patch it in. You know, indie developers use it to better themselves. AAA developers use it just as marketing.
Yeah, that's what that was.
Free marketing for them.
Yeah, that was pretty much my feeling about it too. And because like we've seen a lot of indie games going through like Dizzy Stream, and as a result, we've seen a lot of developers that have come in. Now, mind you, he's played some big games too, and had their people come in, but even there's a difference. The way that the indie developers will interact within a stream or a chat compared to the marketing folks from the big games. This led me into another thought. We know Kickstarter is the most popular platform right now, really, for funding games. You know, we've seen everything from $3.5 million Kickstarters for fucking playing cards of exploding kittens. Would it be so far-fetched for the indie developers to start using Twitch and their streams as a way to raise funds for their development? Like, for example, I'm using Folklore right now because that's one that I'm really, you know, working with right now. Could they say to the people that are growing around their game, listen, we want to be able to do this, but it's going to take X amount of money. Can you help us? Is that any different than a Kickstarter?
I'm not sure if it is, honestly.
Well, okay. Old Man Blue says that Twitch Google would have. Google doesn't even come into this because Google's got nothing to do with Twitch. I think you're referring to Amazon. He's saying they would have to change their TOS. I'm not sure why they would. Because really, you're making a donation. The amount could be $25, it could be $2,500, it could be $5,000. You're contributing to the development of a game that you are really growing to like and you want to see succeed. And I was thinking about this, you know, like, why couldn't they do something like that?
I think there's a risk. Mainly because we've seen a couple of games that have gone through Kickstarter that have turned out to be absolute shit.
Yes, but okay, as in all things, you got to do your research. Now, granted, Twitch is
people are fucking retarded.
Yeah, well, I know that. And I know if G was here, he'd be going off into, you know, his favorite thing about doing research. But I think that it could actually be a viable way for developers to involve their community. Look, Chris Richards from, you know, Star Citizen, they've raised $50 million on basically the same idea. It's no different because they got their initial amount of money from their Kickstarter. They then went to their website and basically said, hey, if you want to support us, donate. Now, if you donate this much, you get this. If you donate this much, you get this. How would that be any different than, let's say, Folklore saying to their community, well, okay, we have X amount of things we want to do in X amount of period of time. We need this X amount of money. To me, it doesn't sound really that much different.
You also have games that are already made doing it to fund their tournaments, where they come out with in-game stuff that you can purchase that most likely doesn't help you out in the game. It's normally all cosmetic. And because the company doesn't want to put the money out for the tournaments and paying off these esport players, they go through crowdfunding it. And they'll say, hey, if you pay this much for these 3 skins, 20% of what you just paid will go towards funding the next big tournament. What happened to the companies paying for this shit?
Yeah.
What happened to coming out with a game completely on your own, without crowdfunding, without donations, and having a finished, polished game that you're ready to release? Or having the funds set off to the side to where you can have tournaments.
Yeah. I think it's an interesting idea. I really do. I don't know what, I doubt it will happen. It could happen. The problem I worry then is because we all know, like, you know, the big companies, they're starting to do the crowdfunding thing now, like, you know, going through Kickstarter for some of their games, and you know, the success ratio is, you know, questionable, but the idea that Twitch, through its donation mechanism, could actually help fund small indie developers, I think, is rather an interesting one that may or may not happen. I don't know. It was something I was thinking about as I was watching this, and you know, I was just kind of interested in your thoughts on it. That's pretty much it. One of the things I'm going to start doing is when I come across them during the day is update notifications for different games, and the one that I've got today actually has to do with Rust. Their devblog 44, they some of the things that are coming this week for Rust, the experimental Rust. The Radtown loots are being changed. Previously, you'd always find boxes in the same position, and most of the time they were empty. Now the boxes disappear when they are looted and respawn at random positions. They've also modified the loot tables quite a bit to be slightly more generous when it comes to boxes in Radtowns. They're also, with the barrels, they've changed that. Some that they got barrels with different tiers now. Some are better, some are worse. They've updated their terrain generation. They've got what they call join timeouts, which is if you have a crappy internet connection, you probably haven't been able to join a Rust server for the last couple of weeks. I've been looking at it, and they're trying to make some changes to improve that. What the fuck? A satellite? They're concerned about the look of the satellite dish? Really, guys? Really? It's a fucking satellite dish in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Cosmetics.
Yeah, but okay, I know the dish they're talking about, and it's sitting literally out in the middle of nowhere next to some rad town, and it's the only one in the whole fucking world.
People
God.
get pissed about anything just to be pissed about something.
Yeah.
You should know this, Cranky.
Yeah. Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What are you inferring there, good lady?
Your name is Cranky.
Jeez. Apparently they're working on an...
Exactly. Of course you're gonna change the fucking subject back.
Of course! Apparently they're working on a new UI again. Way to go, guys. It's supposed to go into the experimental branch this week, I guess, and then released to the main on Thursday or Friday. So yeah, so there's some stuff coming for Rust, folks. There's stuff coming for Rust. Now, as I end off this show, I have a little goodie for everybody in chat, thanks to DeGaulle. And you can thank me later, and you can come and curse at DeGaulle. It's a game. It is courtesy of the National Air Traffic Controllers, believe it or not. You can take the same kind of visual test in a game format as people looking to become air traffic controllers.
Yeah, no thanks.
It's apparently a very simple game. Very simple. Until you start getting up in levels.
Don't air traffic controllers have the highest suicide rate out of any job on the market?
Next to dentists?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you're saying it's a fun, easy little game.
Yeah.
If you want to find yourself jumping out in front of traffic, then sure.
But anyway, I will leave you with that game, folks. Have fun. There apparently at that site there is underneath their trainee careers section. There's a whole bunch of different ones that you can play with. One of them is traffic avoidance. This one is shape trafficking. So have fun, enjoy, and I will let Ginger head off to bed because I know she is not feeling well. I thank you very much, dear lady, for putting up with the illness and joining the show tonight.
Of course.
Gee, oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I forgot about this graphic here. And this is kind of, if you see on your screen, folks, you see that sort of muddled graphic. I will get you the link to the actual story with a link to the full image. And it is from a German artist who did what is it?
It's ass kicking time.
Thank you, Fuck the Police. What a nice name. It is the full-size chart measures 4,268 by 5,690 pixels and contains. It is a size comparison chart of science fiction spaceships.
If I could find a way to scale that just right to fit one of the walls in my gaming room,
Now,
that would be the backdrop.
Here's the really cool thing. You can download this, the full image. There's no cost. He's making it totally free, and you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, but getting that turned into some sort of wallpaper or vinyl or something is going to be so fucking expensive.
Hey, I'm leaving it up to you. I'm just bringing the info for you to enjoy. But yeah, now they did say the ships are grouped by franchise. He's also included the ISS at the top in a little yellow box to give you some sense of real life scale.
He also didn't put things like the Death Star in there because he kept it to, I think it was 25,000 meters.
Yeah.
And Death Star just would have thrown off the proportions, everything like that.
The only...
Ass kicking time.
Thank you, Mr. Beard TV, very much. Yeah, the ships, the only included ships are those measuring between 100 and 25,000 meters. But consider that my gift to everybody tonight. You can compare the different ships from science fiction, see where your favorite ranks, and you can play the trainee game. Have fun. But on that note, we will call tonight to a close. I thank you very much for joining us. I thank chat for finally, being the people I know you can be. Thumbs up to you all. Until tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, at 12 o'clock a.m., we will be back for another edition of Late Night with Cranky and Friends. But until then, remember the golden rule, folks. Game on.
Bye, everybody.